Oh my god. Hello and welcome to Tangents, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything, and we just see where the conversational thread will go. With me today, as always, is my indomitable friend, Lumo. Cam, hey, how you doing today?
My protein shake is chunky.
Shake it more?
I've been trying to unchunk the friend this entire time.
Don't you use a blender?
No, I don't own one.
Oh, well, there you go. There's a Christmas present for you on your way.
Yeah, you know the meme of, like, you go to a boy's apartment and this is all you see and it's just like a lawn chair in front of a television?
Is it that?
That would be what it's like if I didn't have roommates.
Oh my god.
I don't buy something until I need it, and then I don't ever need it again, so I've just been able to talk myself out of buying everything. It's called being fiscally responsible.
That's the thing. Oh god, like last year, I was I was just thinking, oh god, I could really use a blender. I just really want to start making some smoothies. So I ordered one, then I forgot about it, then it arrived 2 weeks later and a blender arrived. I was like, why the hell did I get a blender? What the, hang on. I have a blender now. Why did I get this? I don't remember.
I love how I'm like, I don't buy things that I can deem unnecessary, and yet tomorrow my Guilty Gear themed fight stick shows up. So like, maybe I'm just blowing smoke out my ass.
Hey, we all have weak moments.
Dude, no, I'm very excited. I haven't gotten sweaty about a fighting game in forever. Because I never find the character that I click with, you know? It takes me a long time. Like, for Smash, it took me 4 games to settle on Sheik.
Oh, you're a Sheik main? Okay.
Yeah, I'm disgusting. It's great. The thing is, though, so I'm a Sheik main, so when I started playing Guilty Gear, I was like, oh, Kai has Bouncing Fish. That makes sense to me. I should main Kai. And then I hated Kai. You want to know what I stuck with? Potemkin. What's Potemkin's thing? Oh, he's grabbed you. You've lost. You enjoy your cutscene.
I'm not much into fighting games, to be honest. I really do like Smash Brothers, but other than that, not many others really grab me.
Yeah.
Like, unlike Potemkin, what does Potemkin do?
Okay, so let me explain this. In fighting games, there are kind of different archetypes. So, like, there's your generic brawler, there's your rushdown characters, and then there's grapplers. So let me explain how Potemkin works. Are you within melee range? If yes, the Potemkin has won. So if you get stun locked anywhere near Potemkin, he can stick his big meaty arms out, grab you, and do a jumping throw called the Potemkin Buster. But if you jump near Potemkin, he can do the Heavenly Potemkin Buster, where he express introduces you to God before slamming you back down to the earth. Okay. And here's the thing. One of my friends plays Eno, who has a very rigid, I won't say rigid, but a very readable approach. She fires out a music projectile and then jumps over it or follows behind it. Potemkin has answers for both of these. So I can either send the music note back, thus cucking the approach from the front, or if they jump, that's Heavenly Potemkin Buster range. Like, here's the thing. If you are below 100% health, you are in kill percent if Potemkin can combo you. And it's only 4 inputs. It is only 4 inputs to go from, like, 90 to death.
Are you kidding me? That sounds broken as hell.
Here's the thing. Potemkin can't rush, has a massive hitbox, cannot run, can barely jump. But if you put Potemkin in a corner, he's won.
Do not corner the Potemkin.
If you give a Potemkin enough time to think, you lose the match because they're figuring out ways to get their big sweaty hands on you.
Oh, that's a phrase. That's a phrase I'm not keen on right there. Ooh.
Like, there's a matchup against a hyper-fast character, which you think Potemkin would lose, until you realize that half of the fast characters' like options are in the air, which coincidentally is Heavenly Potemkin Buster range. Like, that's the thing. He has answers all the time. You literally just have to outplay the Potemkin. You can't play to any weaknesses. You just have to outplay him. I love him. He's great.
Well, I'm just trying to remember. There were the other fighting game that I really got into for a little bit was Skullgirls, because I had a friend that was like really enjoyed it. And I was like, all right, yeah, screw it, let's get into it. And oh god, that was such a fun game. The music in there is fantastic.
Yeah, I love Skullgirls.
Yeah, the style and animations were really good. I'm trying to remember who it was that I mained. I think it was Cerebella. She basically just has a giant hat with two meaty arms on top.
Oh, yeah. See, when I played Skullgirls, I mained Phila just because I thought she was cute. That was the whole logic behind it. I didn't like her moveset. I just thought she was cute.
Wait, Phila was the one with was like the undead one with the worm.
The parasite head, yeah.
Yeah, she was great. Like
No. Undead one is Squiggly.
Is that Squiggly?
I'm talking about the one with the parasite on her head. The one with Samson.
Oh shit, yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh crap, yeah, she was good. Crap. The one that I really did not like everything else was kind of like nice and cute and everything like that. Then fucking Double comes along. And it's just like
I love Double. Double is horrifying.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like it, because it just hits that innate fear of mine. I'm just like, amorphous blob of flesh. No, thank you.
Real talk, I think my fighting game, like, desire comes from being a kid and getting my ass kicked by my brother in Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube.
Oh my god. Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube was amazing.
Yo, Link mains rise up.
Link mains, I think it was a Killick. I was a Killick main. I could flick people off rings from anywhere. It was so good. Also, I mean, Soul Calibur 2, if we're talking about that, we have to talk about Taki. If you remember the tight skin suit ninja.
I think we gotta talk about Ivy more, the original, like, hentai proportions.
I mean,
that's one thing to call him, yeah.
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 Yeah, I guess.
Real talk. Going back to Guilty Gear really quick, you want to know why I picked Potemkin in the first place instead of a fast character?
Why was that?
My friend plays Soul Bad Guy, Singular Nasty Man, Uno Malicious Dude, and so I thought to myself, I know Soul is a Rushdown character, so she'll want to rush in. You want to know what's in? Potemkin
What's
Buster.
in? Oh, right, okay.
So, like, she would dash in and just Potemkin Buster. She would try and back off, Hammerfall, Potemkin Buster. She still won. She still just outplayed me, but I got a couple of stocks off on her on my first day and reinstilled the fear of God into her.
Oh god, you got me thinking about bloody fighting games now. What was it? Bloody Roar? Did you ever play Bloody Roar?
I think that's just called losing your virginity.
No, okay, no. There was on GameCube, I think it was Bloody Roar 2? Or was it 3? I don't know.
I have not played Bloody Roar. No, I've never even heard of it.
It's essentially, it's just a fighting game, but it's Bloody Roar Primal Fury. Right, that's it. On GameCube. It's the only one I ever played in the series. But the idea is, it's just a fighting game, but you can transform into animals. It's essentially Fighting Game, the furry edition.
Oh.
But it was great because it was just so over the top, and one of the characters just turns into a giant freaking vampire bat and just swings around. One of them turns into a giant wolf and just goes. It was just so dumb and crazy. It was just great. Didn't play it much, but it was great.
Real talk, I'm super happy that my friends got me into a fighting game, because you can ask a couple of people who know me. I've been looking for a good fighting game to sweat on for a while, but almost every fighting game recently has had major issues, it feels like. Like Fighter Z had its entire competitive scene slaughtered by Toei Animation. Street Fighter V is Street Fighter V.
Yeah, there's a few things wrong with that.
Oh, there's so much wrong with that. Like, I every time it was on sale, I kept almost picking it up until I realized that they wanted me to just repay for, like, everything. So even if I got it on sale, I'm still paying, like, $80 for everything.
Yep.
From there, it's like, I could go back to Skullgirls, but I was never really a fan of that. BlazBlue is too horny, even for me.
Yeah, it's true. Why not Dive Kick?
I actually didn't think about that one.
Dive Kick's a fighting game.
Yeah, I also thought about Tekken, but I'm not a big fan of, like, 3D fighters. And Smash, I kind of reached my peak because I can't go compete in locals for obvious reasons. And my buddy, who used to compete in locals, I'm finally on par with him.
So it's gotten to that point where it's a case of, in your friend group, you're at that point where you're too good that playing other people, they don't really want to play with you, but you can't. Yeah, okay.
I've reached the point where I'm no longer fun for casuals, but not good enough for competitive.
Yeah, that horrible trench.
And like that's gonna happen with Guilty Gear too. One of our friends, who actually is the Eno player, she's the top of the friend group skill ladder. I take her down, I ascend to godhood, and once again return to my state of being no fun for casuals and too bad for too bad for competitive.
Oh god. I mean, did you never get into like Mortal Kombat or anything, like one of the original fighting games?
No, back when I was a kid, I was too dumb to understand input strings.
Okay, fair enough.
God, I heard the worst joke in regards to fighting games.
Oh,
do you want to know why Smash players can't take showers? Turning the water on requires a half circle input.
Jesus.
I say this as someone who loves Smash. I found it hilarious. Someone snuck a live crab into a venue and the smell was so bad no one thought anything of the weird crab stank.
That's absolutely gross. But speaking of Smash real quick, does it worry you thinking that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out in 2018? That's 3 years ago now.
They've been getting regular fighters. I'm not too bothered by that.
No, it just doesn't seem like it was 3 years ago.
I mean, to be fair, we are missing a year collectively.
Well, to be fair, it's about a year and a half.
Yeah. I mean, my life's back to normal for the most part.
Oh, well, that's great for you. It's not. Nothing has changed over here. Absolutely nothing has changed. We are still very much isolated. We can't do crap. Nothing's open.
Have you tried overthrowing the British? It worked really well for us.
Yeah, you started and it's been going downhill ever since because the hill was not very high to begin with. Oh god.
Man, I kind of realized something. I'm actually kind of glad. So for everyone's benefit, our notes for today were hobbies we were interested in, and I accidentally kicked it off in a different direction than I intended. So this is nice.
Well, no, because fighting games is kind of one of your hobbies. So,
well, that's what I'm saying. I kicked it off in a way I wasn't expecting. I didn't expect to go down this route when we started.
Oh, fuck, right. I see what you mean. Ah, crap. I thought you meant like you derailed immediately. I was like, we didn't even get on the rails.
No, I was saying that I'm actually like in position for the first time in a while.
Yeah, okay. So jumping back into it, there is what we're kind of going to be talking about today. Like 15 minutes in, we have three main kind of topics that we want to be talking about today, and it kind of has a general thread going through of just progression through life. So the first topic we're going to be talking about is hobbies, things that we've lost, and we want to get into. We're going to be talking about life aspirations and like long-term, short-term, all that kind of stuff. And another one is the last one is something that we're proud of, which Cam wanted to talk about. Well, Cam suggested
the Smegma mail grind set.
Oh, fantastic! How many jars have you filled?
But yeah, no. So going back to what we were talking about with hobbies, I have realized something.
Shoot.
So here's the thing. With Guilty Gear specifically, I was having trouble putting in my inputs. So I wanted a controller with an oct gate. And for those of you who don't know, an oct gate is basically something that physically restricts the stick to be in either a cardinal or intercardinal position. So the GameCube analog sticks are a fantastic example of this. So I was having issues inputting Potemkin Buster, my one gimmick. So I picked up my GameCube controller and started using that. And that was fantastic. Until I had to start doing things like binding dash to a trigger and binding Roman cancel to a trigger. The triggers on the GameCube controllers take a year and a half to depress. So I'm now at a disadvantage because it takes me forever to input these two very crucial actions. And I thought to myself, it sure would be nice to have a controller that has a hex gate, normal face buttons, and like back paddles. Which then brings me to the Steam controller, which has everything except the oct gate, which I need.
Wait, the Steam controller almost became useful again.
So here's the thing. I actually started with the Steam controller because I found it really easy to input half quarters. To input normal quarters on my, like the little touchpads. But actual movement itself felt inconsistent. If I could get the touchpads... but smaller? Yeah, I'd be game. I'd be game.
Okay.
Like, I would actually fuck with that. So that's actually why I ordered the fight stick, is because for all for all of my controller options that I have, I don't have one that matches everything that I need.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm actually sitting here just like, so this fighting pad has 8 face buttons, which should be enough, but if it's not enough, I should buy some foot pedals.
Oh my god, you're going fucking ham on this.
Dude, I'm having fun.
It's gonna look like one of those flight simulator cockpits.
Man, I'm gonna have enough stuff to finally play Star Citizen in a way that makes it fun.
Treating Star Citizen like a fighting game.
I mean, it kind of is. Star Citizen is just Sea of Thieves for space nerds. Send tweet. Like, I've wanted a game that I can sweat over mechanically for a while, and there's no incentive to grind. There's no time gating. I just get to go. And that's fun. Because after Phantasy Star kind of just got bad, like, I needed something else.
Wait, Phantasy Star got bad? You just dragged me into that.
Well, I told you New Genesis was lacking. You said you wanted to do base PSO2 stuff, which is fine, because base PSO2 is good. New Genesis is lacking in content, which makes it bad.
Wait, so I could just go straight into New Genesis?
Yeah, you can just walk there.
Are you kidding? Okay.
What?
Well,
no, I told you this. I was very upfront about it.
You showed me flashy moves and be like, oh, look, I can punch things and fly. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was in base PSO2. I literally showed you a toll from base PSO2. New Genesis, like, here's the thing. New Genesis is mechanically good, but Sega is mismanaging the content rollout, so it feels bad. So, like, what's there is mechanically sound. I've got some complaints about mechanical expression, but the experience of playing the game in the moment to moment is fun. It's just the issue is they are restricting content to be at arbitrary random time gates randomly throughout the day. There's a lot of missing classes, a lot of missing magic, a lot of missing techniques. We are restricted to just Alio, which isn't that big of an area. And you just can't grind for anything you want consistently because Sega is trying to stretch out the physical bare minimum of content until December. But the thing is base PSO2, you got 10 years of fun to have. Like, there's 10 years of content you can just goof on, which is nice. That's why PSO2 is still worth playing for someone who hasn't played it before. Because for me, I've already milked base PSO2 for all it's worth, barring 1 or 2 like weapon camos that I want. Whereas for you, it's a brand new world. You could show up, kill God, go back to leveling, do the story. Like, you've got a lot of content you can do in base PSO2. And I'm around to do all of it. It's just a matter of New Genesis, you finish the story in like an hour at most, and then it's just like, all right, kids, go to Mount Magus and grind for a 5% damage increase for the next 3 months. Like, that's not good.
No, I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah, so that's why I said let's do base PSO2 and just, like, earn cosmetics and stuff.
To be fair, though, recently I've been really getting... Like, I tried PSO2 and it was a little bit slow. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, it's a very rigid game. Like, the thing is the fluidity that you get in base PSO2 comes from mastery. So, like, Hero, for example, feels very rigid because you realize that you're not moving a lot when you use your abilities. But then when you get into the cadence of dodge counter, dodge counter, dodge counter, and, like, executing your photon arts, all of a sudden, it feels really good to play Hero because you're not rigid. You are literally hyper-mobile. You just have to get into the rhythm of the dance. But until you get into the rhythm of the dance, it feels like you're stepping with 2 left feet trying to do the salsa.
Oh, that sucks. I've never been good at dancing. Oh no.
Yeah, well, like, the way I like to put it is PSO2 feels like a fighting game because until you get used to how it, like, plays, it feels very restrictive and rigid. But again, once you get into it, it feels good. But at the same time, there is some things that I'm very glad New Genesis changed that base PSO2 has. Like, for example, hunters in base PSO had to spam a photon art to go fast because otherwise they're stuck at the default walking speed, which is slow as shit. Base PSO2, New Genesis, it's just sprint. There you go. You're fast now. Like, it's stuff like that, where there's a lot of stuff that New Genesis fixed, but until they roll out more content, it's not worth it. I think, you know what I think makes it feel bad?
What's that?
So, next month, we get Braver. I mean, I guess this month. Braver's already out when this episode comes out. But we got Braver, and coming up is the new Urgent quest, which was supposed to be a normal quest type, but that's a different conversation. So we're getting new content that's gated on RNG, and it has a third chance to spawn once every 2 to 4 hours. So that's not fun. That's a 30% chance to try the new content and have it shot to get the new weapons. So you still can't consistently grind for stuff, which sucks. And then Sega puts out a survey, which you want to know what the survey basically reads like?
What's it say?
Hey, why aren't you spending money? Why aren't you spending money on us? Why aren't you buying AC? Why aren't you using the scratch tickets? And it's like, I don't know, Sega, there's no game for me to play. So they are making like 6 scratch tickets next month. And we have no content. And I'm sure that there are different teams that make that, but it still feels disgusting because it's like, instead of making content, you're selling dress-up options and expecting people to pay for dress-up options when there's no reason for them to play the game. My guild has recently abandoned its like, we need to see you on at least once a week because they've acknowledged that there's no content in the game.
That's pretty bad. That is actually pretty bad.
Right? It's hokey pokey, dude.
Yeah, I think I'm going to hold off for a little bit, mainly because like...
Hold off on New Genesis. Base is fun. Hold off on New Genesis.
Like... MMOs, I'm not so sure I want to get into at the moment, mainly for the fact that I'm kind of burnt out on Final Fantasy 14 as well, and I don't really want to be jumping into like another MMO when it's like every MMO that I've ever played, I've always played with someone for like maybe a week or two, and then they just fall off and I keep playing, and I've shifted MMOs so many damn times that at this point it's just, I think I'm done with MMOs.
No, that's honestly fair. Like, the thing with me and MMOs is I maintain 1 or 2, mostly for the sake of not burning out. Like, don't get me wrong, I've actually burned out on both of my MMOs now. Yeah,
like, as soon as I started PSO2, I'm maybe not right now.
I mean, I still play PSO2, and I did tell you, New Genesis bad, just play base.
Yeah, so like recently I've been getting into like Enter the Gungeon, and I've been getting into more games that I've been trying to speedrun. Because going back to the topic, one of my hobbies that I picked up over the last 2 years was speedrunning. I'm really bad at it, but like at the moment when I did my last run, I was 26th fastest in the world for cluster truck. At the moment, I think I'm like within the top 100 for Cyberhook as well for doing marathon mode.
Jesus.
Like these are just 2 games that I've been doing on and off. I've not actually tried to do any like popular games yet because that's a big commitment. Like speedrunning is a big thing. Like one of the games that I really want to try and start learning for speedrunning, which I know I'm gonna get freaking destroyed at, is Celeste because it's one of my all-time favorite games. And Celeste is just, it's difficult as it is, but being able to just master the movement and just the timings and everything, holy crap. It's going to be insane.
You want to know what game I got like loosely into speedrunning?
What's that?
Amnesia.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you did, didn't you?
I mean, I kind of have my own category that I made for myself called Meme %, where it's just ruining the game as fast as possible. Because whenever we do the yearly charity stream for like the Christmas edit, I like to do the following. I like to kill the brute. I like to cheese the cistern. And my personal favorite, I like to make Flappy crash the game inside of storage. Those are the criteria for Meme %.
Okay. That's the thing though. Going on to like the speedrunning kind of thing, there's a couple of games that I really want to start looking into, which kind of like ties in with one of my other hobbies. Hey, it's almost like I'm trying to loop it back around. I'm kind of wanting to start trying speedrunning VR games.
Ooh, now that's a niche.
It is a niche because it's very physical, some of the games. Like I've seen some of the speedruns for Boneworks and like holy crap. Like that's like take that person to the frickin' Tokyo Olympics right now. That's insane.
Yeah, same with the guy who did Half-Life Alex at GDQ.
Oh, I have not seen that. I need to see that.
It is really interesting.
Holy crap. But no, there's like so many different games that I'd be interested in just trying. But something I've been wanting to learn is I want to like learn some, I don't know which language it would be, but I want to try and learn myself some basic coding. I say basic, some base coding, so I can start making mods for games.
Hey, that's what I've been doing.
It's mainly so that I can just start taking flat screen games and making like changing like the viewport and the control system so it has like a rudimentary VR mod.
So I would say start with Python to get a base understanding of concepts, then move to C#.
So Python to C#. Okay.
Yeah. So Python is extremely high level, which means it doesn't require a lot of knowledge about the system's like inner workings. There's no real confusion. But from there, you get the C# and it gets to be a little bit lower level. Not super low, but you still need to have some consideration. And if you want to get really cryptid, you can just get all the way down to assembly and kill yourself.
Let's not do that one. Not yet.
Assembly is a nightmare. I do not enjoy. I am not a fan. I've actually been taking up a lot of hard coding just because I want to make fun software.
Yeah. I mean, you started work on that project for Kalbus Image Gatherer as well.
Yeah, I have made some progress on that, actually.
Oh, nice.
I've learned how to use while loops in Python. That's the most we're getting right now. See, here's the thing. I've been doing the Automate Your Life in Python course, or like automate the boring stuff in Python, because it was free forever ago.
Yeah.
And once I learned how to load up like docx files and then use Reddit's API, we do actually have an effective downloader.
Oh, it would be so useful once that gets going, though. So useful.
For the audience's benefit, one of the hardest parts about doing Calibus is starting. Because starting requires going through Reddit and trying to download images and just converting anything that isn't the right format, which isn't hard. It's not hard in the slightest. It just takes a little bit of time and is kind of tedious. And that tedium is enough on a bad day to make us both delay starting.
Yeah, it really does put a dampener on things. Like, just that starting gate of time to gather the footage.
Yeah, and like, it's a nothing task. It should not hold as much sway over us as it is, but the actual act of editing is fun. And doing the voiceover is fun. But the voiceover also doesn't require us to download the images. The thing is, though, so if I have something that eliminates that initial barrier, it's a lot easier to motivate myself to get started because it's just download our post list, throw it in the program, spits everything out properly named in the right format. Heaven or hell, let's rock. Like, it's it makes it very easy.
So useful. It would eliminate basically 10 to 15 minutes of work.
Yeah, so like that's the thing too, is like that's why I want to write stuff, is because it lets me kind of take care of some of the duller work that I have. So like another great one is I would love to make myself a to-do list that iterates through my tasks for the day so I can assign them a difficulty rating one at a time, as opposed to in the grand scheme. So then I can see the grand scheme of what my day looks like for my career job. Like that's honestly the thing, is I'm trying to learn coding to do a lot of fun like tech stuff. I also want to set up a magic mirror. That'll be fun.
Oh, magic mirror is something I've been considering doing. There's like a bunch of tech projects that I want to make, I want to do, but I'm waiting until I have my own place again. Like, there's no point in me. Okay. So I've been speaking about this for quite a while. I am in the middle of researching and quite possibly moving towards Canada.
Oh.
But the thing is, right? If I'm in the UK and I want to move abroad, I've been trying to. I just can't get anything physical anymore, because anything physical means I have to either sell it or pay exorbitant prices to ship it across for me. So I'm at this limbo point where it's just like, I kind of want to do these really cool things. Like, I was wanting to make an infinity cube with like one-way mirrors and all that kind of stuff and LEDs in it for Christmas as like a little project. But I was like, if I make that, then I'm going to have to ship that across, or I'm going to have to sell it, because God knows I can't leave it here. It's just like, maybe I'm not, I can't do it anymore. So it's just, I just need to go. I just need to get somewhere. It's basically the sum of it.
Yeah. Like, my thing is I have built my life to be nomadic in nature. My desk is the most permanent thing that I own. Everything else can be transported very easily. And this is half born of paranoia, because you know how I feel about security. I never feel secure. But the thing is, though, is I've had a couple of offers to move to other states, and it kind of makes me happy that I could actually just rent a U-Haul truck and just drive there and be done. Like, I live very minimalistically, specifically for that reason. Also, it's easier to clean when you don't have much stuff.
This is true. Like, I would absolutely love to just start kind of like stripping things away and just have as little as possible. But I don't know. For me, that's very counterintuitive towards my nature, because I am very much a collector by nature. So I like having physical and tangible things. But at the same time, I just don't like clutter and mess. So it's like, how do I balance these two things?
Yeah. You see, like this is the weird thing. I actually have a couple of hobbies that I haven't been indulging with due to a lack of space. And you want to know what I really want to get back into?
Oh, what's that?
Cosplay and metalworking.
God, that's something I want to try and get into as well. Not the metalworking side of things. I kind of want to get into like the cosplay and electronic side of things. So like LEDs and Raspberry Pis and stuff like that. Yeah,
Raspberry Pis, you're going to have a lot of benefit from learning programming now. You see, my thing is like all of my cosplays that I want to do are huge, like jacked dudes, which is easy because I can just get huge and jacked. I just got to lose the gut first. But the thing is like, if say I want to cosplay Soul Bad Guy, the singular nasty man, I want to have like an actual large prop. And I would like to make part of it out of metal, or at least give it like a metal coating so I can knock on it and actually have it sound like metal. Because for me, half of cosplay is the presentation. If I'm going to be a huge dude, I want to have the same aura as a huge dude who's walking around with like the grocery cart, but he's holding it in the air suspended by its side.
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, it's cosplay comes in many different sizes and shapes and kind of ideas and whatnot. But to me, like the best kind of cosplay is the ones that like stick to the original source material as close as possible, because that means you have taken that thing, taken out, and you have just transposed it into reality, and that is phenomenal.
Yeah, but like that's the thing is I just have a lot of cosplays like that require me to be an absolute flesh wall, and half of that. At least carrying that act, I think, is having self-confidence, which is something I need to work on, really, at some point. I can't just buy some. I tried. Didn't work. It was called alcohol.
Just download it.
Just more confidence.
No, just download the jar file and install.
Just drop it in the Forge Mods folder, duh.
Yeah, done. Easy.
But yeah, no, because like that's my biggest issue, actually, I've discovered is self-confidence. Because so much stems from that. So, like, if I want to be the big dude and have the imposing big dude aura, I have to have complete faith in myself that I am, in fact, the big dude who can handle whatever is thrown at him. Because right now, I'm very insecure, honestly. So, like, having the confidence to just be fucking massive goes a long way to carrying the, like, aura and soul of a lot of those, characters.
Yeah.
If you're putting on airs, people will be able to tell. But if you're truly confident in yourself, it is very hard to tell if you're like, faking it, if that makes sense.
I mean, that's something that you know what the fucking dream would be? The fucking dream? Because this is actually something that we're going to be talking about in a little bit in one of the other topics, in one of the other sections. One of the things that I really want to do, like one of my big goals, is to essentially do conventions coverage. Because fucking ages ago, years and years ago, what really got me into like videography and stuff like that, and got me into like the whole convention side of things. I can't remember the name of the channel, but there was this one dude on YouTube that would go to anime conventions and just general conventions and just general conventions. And he would just bring a camera, do coverage of it, and he would like do the stalls, he would do some of the events and all that. But his main focus was on the cosplayers. And he would do these really cool like camera movements and panning shots, and it all looked absolutely beautiful. Like the subject, the camera movements, just the composition, everything about it was just fantastic. And he just added, at the time, copyright music on top, and these things just blew my mind, because like this is a life I didn't know that people could have at the time. I was like, I want this. I want to go out there. I want to cover this stuff. I want to be a part of it. I want to learn these skills. And that's kind of why I got into videography. It's why I want to do cosplay and all that kind of stuff as well.
See, my thing is I really want to get into cosplay in the community, but I have friends who are in the cosplay community, and when I said that, their only response was, you don't.
Like, why? Well, I take it it's drama.
Yeah, very dramatic community.
Oh my god.
Which is concerning, but I can survive that. I've been a YouTuber for years.
Oh, speaking of that, okay, you talked about having like a hobby that you can't indulge in because you don't have the space.
Yeah.
I actually have two. Yeah, I have two of those at the moment. Like these are, I consider my hobbies as like actives and dormants, and then ones I want to get into. It's like these ones are dormants at the moment. One of them is Warhammer 40k, like the actual models. Okay, like I enjoy models. Like I like the painting. I like the concept of playing the games. A while back, when I was under a different name for my channel and whatnot, I was with like a group of people. We went by Simply Wasting Time. And as a group, we decided to do a budget Warhammer 40k build competition. So basically, each month we would have £40, which is like roughly $60 or something like that, to put into an army. And over the course of maybe 6 months, we would build up the army. We would paint it all within a budget, and then we would see how we fared. And it would be like measuring like what we got for our money, how easy it was to paint, how well it did in like actual gameplay and all that kind of stuff. We were doing all this, and I built up this really cool Tyranids army. And goddamn, the Tyranids are so fucking cool. Terrifying in concept, but really cool to play as, because it's literally just a swarm. You swarm, you see that burrow out of the ground, fall from the sky, with claws, guns, kill, swarm. It's great. Like, whilst everything else is like, for the glory of mankind, and shooting things with guns and stuff, I'm out here with damn claws, and I'm spitting acid at you. Come at me, motherfucker. It's just, it went well. Then, like, the whole group kind of dissolved after a while. It never got finished. But when I was, at the time, like, the reason why I'm in the place where I am now is because I basically almost went homeless, and I had to move back in with my dad, where I am literally living in a cupboard. I had a 2-bedroom apartment, now crammed into a single cupboard, basically. There's basically no room in here. So when that happened, I had to get rid of a lot. So one of the things I had to get rid of was my army. So instead of trying to sell it off where I could have probably made some money, it was just, to me, it was easier to just go down to the local, game shop. There was a game shop in the town over where they had like, a bunch of card tables. They had a bunch of like miniature stuff. They had a dedicated tabletop RPG room, which was in the design of a tavern, which is fantastic. Like, you just hire out for the day.
That is actually really sick.
Like, I hired it out and I ran like a couple of games for people, like just randoms. Like a couple of people. I did a bunch of like introductory sessions for people to get them into D&D because they were looking for DMs at the time.
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. I'll do that. And it was great fun. But they had like a very small amount of tabletop RPG. War game models. They had like a Space Marines one, and I think they had like a very basic Tau army. So I was just like, well, I need to get rid of this. This could help other people get into this hobby. If they have this thing available at this shop where people go to, I'm just going to donate it. So I donated the entire freaking army to this place. Just be like, yeah, let people get into the hobby.
Honestly, yeah, I would say that was probably the most like good you could have done with those.
Yeah, I mean, I've been told like I was an idiot for doing that because like that was a waste of money. I was like, it was just, to me, that was just like extra effort. It's just like, if it gets other people to be introduced and get into a hobby that I enjoy, fuck yeah. I can't use it for the time being, so why not? Plus, the paint job I did on them was fucking terrible, so but it's easier to start from scratch, you know?
Man, one of the things that I always wanted to do was get good at an instrument, but I just don't have time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the general kind of theme. This is the general kind of thing that happens with like a lot of hobbies, is we just don't have time for them. To like get good at stuff, it just takes way too damn long. Which just means we have to be very particular about the things that we want to pursue.
Yeah. Which, you know what has taken a while?
What's that?
Our transition to the next topic.
Well, okay, hold on. Okay, we got into freaking fighting games and PSO2 and then a bunch of other stuff. We hardly touched this topic.
I know. We talked about our hobbies.
I mean, okay. List off some of the hobbies that you have. Just fire them off at us. Fire them off.
Fighting games, game development, art, and bodybuilding. That's it.
Okay. Are there any hobbies that you want to get into?
Music. That's it. Just music.
Okay. For me, I've got Warhammer 40k, D&D, photography, videography, VR, and speedrunning at current. I want to get into doing 3D modeling, coding, improv, and voice acting, and one-wheeling. So I've got a lot of shit that I want to get into.
Well, you see, the thing is, I share some of those, but through the nature of my YouTube, I just learn a lot of those passively. That was the power move I made when I swapped to being a game development channel, is I now get to improve my improv, script delivery, voice acting, programming, 3D modeling, and all of my other art. Specifically through the power of game development YouTube. That was the cheat.
I think that's the difference between you and I, is that you have figured out exactly what it is that you want to pursue, and you're very targeted in what you want to do. So your list of like hobbies that you want to learn and that you have is very small in comparison to mine. And that's because you know exactly what you want to go for.
Well, the thing is if it doesn't serve a purpose, I don't pick it up. That's the thing.
So you don't have hobbies just for the sake of fun?
I have a limited time on this earth. I gotta be the best I can be, otherwise I'm not gonna be happy with myself.
That's the thing, yeah. You know exactly what you want to do. You want to go into game dev, you want to do all that kind of stuff. Well, where I like to explore as much as possible.
Yeah.
Which I think I know the psychology behind why I want to do that, and it's kind of heavy, which I don't think is very appropriate for this podcast at the moment. But it's just in basically to just kind of like sum it up, it's to play catch up in life. So I'm very much of multi-potentiality mindset, which is just exploring as much as possible. So it's like I'll find something that interests me and I'll dive into it for a while, and then I'll find the next thing. Is this hyperfixation? Is this just ADHD? Hold on.
I mean, it sounds more so like you're trying to make up for lost time, which I think, I hate to tell you this, buddy, sounds like a midlife crisis.
No, this has been going on for like over a decade.
Quarter life crisis, then.
Yeah, all I'll say is
I'm not busting your balls, I'm just saying.
Nah, I don't think it's a midlife crisis, because it's not like I'm doing it. It's not what I would consider a midlife crisis. It's just me realizing and starting to take control of my life again, and just trying to like pick things up. Because I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it because it's like really heavy stuff, and I don't fully understand it yet. So I don't want to talk about stuff that I don't fully understand. You know?
Yeah. For me, like my big thing is, I mentioned the self-confidence thing.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest, I guess, hobby, air quotes, would be finding that self-confidence and not being a bastard about it. I've kind of realized I'm not actually a bastard. Well, like, I tend to think of myself very, like, selfishly, if that makes sense. Like, yeah. I genuinely am of the opinion that I am, in fact, an asshole. So a lot of the time that fucks with the self-confidence angle. And yesterday, when I was at the gym, I realized that I'm not that bad of a dude, because I literally, over the last, like, month, have just been helping my neighbors as I've been seeing them and then fleeing before they can thank me. And this is the first anyone has heard of it. And, like, literally yesterday, there was a woman trying to move stuff out of her apartment, and she was very clearly struggling. So I just was like, hey, you guys want some help? And because I used to be a warehouse boy, I just, like, picked it up, put it in their truck. They turned around to say something to their dad, and I was already gone. But it's stuff like that where it's like, my biggest hobby, I think, is living up to the philosophy of who I want to be.
Which is a fantastic thing.
Yeah, it's probably the most important hobby that I think anyone could have, is self-improvement. But I've lost the thread of this thought because the music got really loud in my ears for a second. But no, you get what I'm saying. Like, that's things like, hobbies are really good to have, but they're not coping mechanisms.
Yeah, that's something. As you say, it's something that I'm also kind of like very recently starting to work on. Like everything that you just said, I kind of want to echo. I've started to, like, I've always thought like thinking about myself is extremely selfish, so I've always put other people first. Is always what I've done. Where to the point where I never do anything or focus on myself. This phrase is very polarizing for different people, but it's becoming the protagonist of your own life kind of thing.
I mean, yeah.
Like I've always felt like I've even said to you, I am the supporting character for other people. I've always treated myself and acted as if I am the supporting character. I'm there to bolster and boost other people around me.
Yeah, you've actually physically said that to me too, and I remember like being like,
That's the thing, because I've never had, I've never been in the mindset of like, yeah, I'm a main character kind of person in my life. I've never had that. And it's only recently that I've started to try and like break out of that mindset and do things and pursue things in my own life. And this is kind of like going back into the side of things that I was trying to avoid. But but no, like echoing what you were saying, I have always thought that if something goes wrong, if someone's mad, if something goes wrong around me, or if there is if like a friendship, a relationship, or anything goes bad, it's always my fault. It's always my fault, which is partly, I would assume, narcissism, but not of like a bad degree, if that makes sense. Because like it's like, oh, something's gone wrong, relate it to myself, but in a negative way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I think it's like a low level degree of narcissism, but also a complete lack of self-confidence.
Yeah. You see, for me, I developed a superiority complex, so I just had to kill that.
Oh, I was on the opposite end of the spectrum, my dude.
Well, like, my thing is I have finally got a friend group who actively supports me rather than tearing me down for surpassing their limits, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, for example, I had a group of friends who would actively get mad at me for pushing myself.
Oh, yeah. That was... When you were telling me about that, that was just like, what the fuck is wrong with them?
Yeah, but like, so the thing is, though, is I have been told by multiple people that they envy my ability to be, as you put it, indomitable. Like, if I have something I want to do, it is done. It will be done. Like, my will crystallizes. I have been unironically told I have protagonist energy, but like, when people start gassing you up, you also got to remember to take yourself down to a respectable level. So, like, it kind of goes to what we were talking about, like, I think last episode, or maybe 2 episodes ago, of, like, people with motivation versus people without. And there is no one right way to live, which is something that I've always struggled with. But, like, that's why that's why my hobbies have to serve a point, because I have someone I want to be. I've got promises to myself that I gotta meet. So every hobby has to be something where I can become the best, because being anything less than the best that I can be at it means it's not worth my while. If I can't give my all to a hobby, it's not worth my while.
Okay.
Like that's why I stay hyper-focused on stuff.
That's where we actually differ in a very different way. Whilst you have like the mindset of, I need to be the best. I want to strive to be the best at this kind of thing and just constantly pushing yourself forward. You know exactly what you're wanting to do, whereas I'm still very much searching for what I want to do. But at the same time, whilst I'm searching, I'm just putting my foot forward and just trying to be the best at what I'm doing at the current time.
Yeah. Well, here's where the comparison kind of falls apart. I don't know what I want.
Well, why did you have to say that? Now, we had the perfect dichotomy of just being like opposite ends of the spectrum, but still good friends. What the fuck, dude? You broke it!
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, my time is limited. I could be dead by 40. I could be dead by 80. So
I'll beat you there. Don't worry.
Motherfucker. No, I die first. Fuck you. But like, the thing is I have...
Sorry, the ninja quote just came to mind.
Death. I spent years not knowing what I wanted to do and being depressed about it. So literally what I did maybe 2 years ago was sit down and say, this is what I want. This is where we're going. So I have a 5, 10, and 15-year plan of where I'm going and what I want. I want to have my studio, like my game development and YouTube studio, by the time I'm 30. Which means I need to take the steps to get there now. Which means I have to be improving these specific sets now. It means I have to be taking business courses, project management, now. I need to be who I need to be to get where I want to be by 30. I will forever be a work in progress. That's the fun part of being human. We don't reach an apex. We die at 80, frail and sad. But we can be the best during our lives.
No, absolutely.
So, like, my 5-year plan is to have that studio. 10-year plan? I wanna have the same kind of reputation as famous game development man Hodo Kojumbo.
that you're gonna need to get going on, my dude. Because
Yeah,
that dude,
that took
you have
years
set
for him.
lofty goals. Like, I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm just saying you have essentially said, I want to ascend to legendhood.
Yes, I do. I want to and will. I just have to push harder at it. But what's your life aspirations, my dude, my guy, my friend, my buddy?
My life aspiration right now is to take a quick break. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll start talking about life aspirations. Keep that really good information that Lumo just gave you, and we'll be using that as a launching point. But until then, we'll be just a couple of minutes. Oh, hey, look at that. It's the mid-roll of the episode. Enjoying us talking about games, hobbies, and life aspirations? Hope you are. Also, this music is kind of a vibe, right? Hold on, let me just listen to it for a second. Oh, yeah. Anyway, the Tangents podcast is brought to you in part by our wonderful patrons who are showing up on screen right now. Haha, there they are. Also, want to take a quick moment to thank our Tier 3 supporter, Audrey. If you want to help support the show and get some tasty stuff in return, then head on over to patreon.com/podcast tangents. Access to the Patreon Discord, credited videos, outtakes and bloopers, monthly Q&A sessions, joining in for live recordings on Patreon exclusive episodes where we may take topics from the audience, and access to all of the Patreon episodes, including our latest one where I ran a D&D one-shot for Cam, which was hilarious. Oh, I'm not even saying that just to try and like tempt you to go for it. It's just, oh, I have so much fun with it. Thank you again to all our patrons, and the link again is patreon.com/podcast tangents. Now let's just vibe to the music for a little bit, hey?
Yeah, so tell me, Alex. I've betrayed myself by letting my life ambitions leak out of my mouth hole. What about you?
Oh, wow. Good little segue there. Do you not want to kind of like follow up on that? Do you not want to just like leave that, like continue on with that?
I mean, to the audience, it was mere seconds ago, but I ate a salad, which means my brain is refreshed and blank.
I did nothing except for wash my hands and use the toilet in that order. Don't ask.
I'm more concerned that
no.
you're back here cooking this delicious podcast for people without washing your hands first.
Hey, look, it's sterilized, okay? It's good.
Concerned, anyway.
Nah, okay. So, life aspirations and all that kind of stuff. As we kind of like delved a little bit into earlier on, my current aspirations are very much based around catching up at the moment. So that's why I'm doing things like I'm getting my driving license at long last. I finally got the opportunity to. I'm also now focusing and working towards being very healthy. I'm losing weight and I'm trying to get on that thing. It's a process. I say with 3 cans of cider beside me from last night's drinking session with friends.
Hey man, cheat days are necessary.
Oh, it was 2 days in a row.
I said plural.
I'm also now very much considering going back, and I'm doing research to do online university to get an accounting degree in business management as well. Yeah, mainly because I run my own business as an editor. So being able to be have an understanding of how I can run it better and also how I can manage the accounting better would be phenomenal. But also if I can then become like a freelance accountant and make extra money on the side, even better, because then it could fund what I want to do in life even more. It just makes more sense.
You made the smart call, I would say, in that you're not making even freelancing on YouTube your full-time gig. Because YouTube as a platform is just unstable. There's no guarantee that there'll always be work, but people will always have money that they mismanage and need someone to help them with.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. At the moment, freelancing on YouTube is my full-time job, and that's why I'm trying to back away from it a little bit. It should be a second job, not my main job at this current time.
Like that's why I have my career gig that I, work endlessly at, because it's like I know for a fact that YouTube is unstable. And I love Kalbus and would love Kalbus to be my GF, but at the end of the day, YouTube is uncertain, so not having a backup plan is very silly.
Yeah, that's why I'm now making my backup plan. I'm now like working on that whilst I'm also working on other things as well. I'm diversifying where I can, where it makes sense.
On my end, half of my backup plan has just been the fact that I'm extremely pleasant to be around, allegedly, and just luck. I am very lucky a lot of the time, I've discovered. Like, I've had this horrible realization that things keep just kind of working out, and it is mostly because of something I've done in the past that set me up for the future. But it never feels like that until I reflect on it for a good amount of time. So, like, when my buddy reached out, like, hey, man, we need someone who can do X, Y, and Z for my company. Are you available? I was like, yeah, sure. And internally, I was just like, oh, well, I have a backup plan now. And it isn't a backup plan anymore. It's kind of like my main plan for the most part, because I really like the work I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I only got that gig because I had another gig, which I got very luckily, that gave me marketing experience, but also because I knew this guy before and I was just extremely pleasant around them. Like, I didn't expect it to go anywhere. I was nice for the sake of being, a good person. And that ended up working out in my favor. And so, like, the fact that I had experience that they needed for their company, and the fact that they knew that I wasn't like a malicious dude or was like a lazy dude, they were like, this is someone who we could probably get help from. And so I filled the position. But that's the thing, is I got that because I set myself up as not a bastard. Which means
bringing it back around.
Well, like, that's the thing is like, yeah. My backup plan wasn't something that I consciously worked towards, and then it became my main plan. Like, my second job, I shouldn't call it a backup plan, because I do treat both Kalbus and my career job as, like, my, main things, because they both are. With that, I cannot survive without both. So I shouldn't say, like, either of them are a backup, because neither of them are.
No.
But like, that's the thing, though, is... I basically got a lucky break on both Kalbus and my career job, and both times they saved my asses. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of sick of getting lucky breaks. I want something to happen because I worked for it, damn it.
Dude, I'd love a fucking lucky break. I'm just saying. I would really like one. Well,
I'm of the mind that luck doesn't exist, and, like, I got through Kalbus because I was friends with you and Condi, and I'm only friends with you and Condi because I am a nice person and pleasant to be around. Whereas, like, with this gig, it's the same thing. Because I am just a nice person, it made it easier for me to wiggle my way into somewhere I wanted to be by accident. But luck didn't put me in either of those positions. Taking on crippling college debt did.
True.
And I think this is a weird way to say that luck doesn't exist, but if you're a nice person, then you have a higher chance of good things happening. Society bottom text.
Alright, so going back to, like, current aspirations, just like current aspirations, I've got those things going on, but, like, those are, like, the main ones that I want to be focusing on, but some of the ones that I'm on the side is, like, I want to continue, I want to just, like, start practicing my videography skills again and get into drone flying, so I can do drone shots.
Yeah, drone shots are sick.
Yeah. I need to get, like, a drone license and all this kind of stuff. I need to find things. But that's the thing. Everything that I want to do, it all starts with the basic thing of I need my damn driving license. Because where I am, I'm essentially... It may sound exaggerated and it may sound hyperbolic and all that kind of stuff, but I'm kind of in a prison right now. Like, I'm stuck in the middle of absolutely nowhere in a goddamn room with nothing around me. And no way of getting out. Right now, I have essentially got to, if I need to spend my time bettering myself right now so I can be able to get the opportunity to move away and also have the ability to move away with, like, money and being able to drive physically get away. That's the thing. I am essentially trapped where I am, and there's not really a way out unless I work and claw my way out right now.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, that's actually something I was talking with my mom about before I moved out. Of, like, I was like, I'm very grateful that, like, you've given me a place to live, and, like, I would have been homeless without my parents' intervention. But I was also like, I feel like a prisoner in here. I can't go anywhere. It's impossible to date because I am literally the only person in this goddamn town, it feels like. Like, there's nothing to do because I lived in piddly dunk nowhere like you do.
Well, that's the thing. There may be, in this village, there may be 50 people tops.
Yikes!
50 people tops, and they're all older families. The only people that are younger than 50 are teenagers that go to high school. I don't want to be associating with that, thank you.
Yeah, that's illegal.
That'd be creepy. Yeah, so basically, literally, I cannot, there's nobody around here really that I can relate to or really get to know on, like, with interests of my own kind of thing. So I am I've got the pleasantries going on. I know a couple people and passing all that kind of stuff, but other than that, I am basically isolated in this place, and it is the fucking worst. I've been here for 2 years. 2 years!
Yeah. Honestly, now that I am in, like, actual civilization, the fact that I can go and do stuff again is exciting, but paralyzing.
I would love it. I would absolutely love that opportunity. Whilst I suffer from, like, massive social anxiety and all that, the only way I can break out of that is by doing things. And I can't do anything.
I've honestly been trying to find a way to clear my schedule so I can go to the makerspace that's a town over. Because, like, that sounds like an amazing opportunity to just meet people with similar interests, is go somewhere full of creative people.
Yeah, like, one of the things I want to do is, like, wherever I want to move to somewhere where there's either, like, a makerspace so I can, like, start interacting with people, or if there's, like, a game store nearby. Because I would just go there and I'd be like, hey, do you need people to, like, DM? Do you need I would just be there. I would just be there and be like, because that's where I would meet people with similar ideas and, you know, interests.
Yeah. See, that's my thing, is I actually, I kind of need to find a game shop. I want to play some D&D. It's been, like, doing our one-shot made me just want to do D&D.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if people liked what happened, like the D&D one-shot in the Patreon episode that recently came out, and let us know if they want it, we might make it a recurring segment. Who knows?
I mean, maybe. We'll see. Like, here's a pipeline for stuff. If something does well on the Patreon, we'll put it in the main episode. If people like it in the main episode, then we'll probably do it more. And at a certain point, we have to stop and consider if it just needs to become its own thing.
Yeah. Like, the Patreon episodes we're treating very much like experimental. So we're throwing things, we're doing things that we kind of want to, we just want to try out. And if people like it, they'll let us know. If they don't like it, they'll let us know. And then we'll just play it from there.
Man, I like that we're trying something. I feel like you and I have been kind of, like, stuck in our own camps for a little bit. So it's nice for us to, like, be able to do stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, you've always been busy.
Yeah.
And the time zone kind of thing really plays a factor into it. Like, that's the thing between you and I. Like, I'd like to think we're good friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been kind of nice, like, doing this and getting to hang out with you more outside of just being like, hey, yo, can you send me across the Kalbus thing? Okay, cheers,
Dude,
thanks.
Man, I cannot wait for the day that I have enough money to start, like, my YouTube studio and just, like, hire you on. Like, it's gonna be so nice to just, like,
you do
forcefully relocate us to somewhere centralized.
Oh my god, please hurry up. Please hurry up. Sponsor me across. I will work from Canada for you.
Like, honestly, like, that's something I think I'm gonna be... What the fuck is that? Is that a fly? Is that a fly in my... No, what are you? There's a bug. Not for long, there isn't. I'm sorry.
Okay. We have now entered the bug territory. Now we will hear the... We're now going to focus on... Lumo is now opening the door, it sounds like. He seems to be approaching and looking for some implements to be able to remove the bug with. There is no noise. We do not know what is going on. We have lost visuals. We do not know if the bug has won or if Lumo has won yet. We will have to wait and see how this plays out.
It fell on the carpet.
It seems to have fallen on the carpet, a bold strategy from the bug. Let's see how Lumo responds to this.
I'm massaging it into the carpet fibers with strength.
He has turned it into a fine paste into the carpet, a very strong move, which seems to have been effective against the bug.
I'm sorry, I maintain a clean environment for the most part. So if there's a bug, it cannot be suffered to live, because it's an indication that my diagnosis of my own space was incorrect.
Lumo has just given his inner thoughts out to us so we can get a glimpse into his inner workings, which is very insightful.
This is like the 4th bug I've killed in 2 months. This would have been like the 4th one in a single day back in my old town, so I'll take it.
And we now have confirmation of his win ratio. His kill-death ratio is very high. It's impressive.
4-0. But Yeah, no, so like that's the thing. Like when I can get the slime game out, I feel like that's going to be probably something I'm like super proud of because that's going to be the first game. That's the first step on the journey.
Yeah. Like that's that to you. You're treating that as like your starting point, more or less, for this next section of your career. Yeah,
because it's like I've never finished a project all the way through, and this is actually getting shockingly close to being done. Like, I actually have started to consider the content that I have to do while the slime game is getting finished. Because once I get all this programming done, the last step is nothing but art, and that doesn't make for an entertaining video, because art doesn't have that many issues for me.
Yeah, okay.
So
by the way, if just a thought, if you ever need, like, voice acting or anything for, like, sound effects and shit... Just saying.
I've been in contact with some people actually to figure out what videos I want to do in the meantime, and I came up with one concept that I think is going to be hilarious, but I'm gonna need you and Condi both for it.
Oh, what's that?
The Nightmare Game Jam 2.
Why do you need me for that? I don't do game dev.
Well, that's the fun part. I'm going to every day. During that week, I'm going to go to either you or Condi, and you're going to give me a game mechanic you want in, and it's my job to figure out where it's going to fit.
Oh, no. Do we get an idea of what else has been added in at that point?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. Yeah, sure. I'm down.
Like, it sounds like ass enough to make it, like, work, because at most it's only 7 things. But at worst, it is 7 things.
So can we be like, obviously we can't go like super complex. It's going to be like simplistic things, I would assume.
It's going to be whatever it is. And I will tell you if it's too much, but I'm going to try and leave it kind of open.
Okay, just wall jumping.
Yeah, but it's like, it's stuff like that where like Condi might give me like Stardew Valley elements and then you'll like give him a gun. And I have to figure out how that's going to fit in the contextual like space within the game mechanics.
Okay, on that note, if you're using that kind of thing, just Stardew Valley with guns, and we go on 7th day in space. It just changes everything.
Okay, but yeah, that's honestly one of my favorite ideas that I've had so far. Because, like, I'm like you. I want to tell a story, but my storytelling capabilities are currently limited by my, like, skills. But eventually, I would like to reach a certain point where I can make narrative experiences. Because the intent for me is to get the main channel to the point where I can hire an editor, but instead of using the editor on my main channel, use it to fund a second channel with an editor, so I can start content cranking out there super fast and redirect the audience to be on both channels. Start the content wheel.
That's like the big hurdle for a lot of content creators, is getting to that stage where you can hire someone else to edit the videos for you, so you can focus on making more stuff.
Yeah,
it's like once you start getting to that stage, things just start to snowball.
I'm in the same point as like a lot of content creators who get bigger, where I don't think anyone else could do my main channel videos for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like that's why I'm like, I'll make a secondary gaming channel and use that as like a secondary source of income. Like how Aaron Hansen did with the Game Grumps.
That's the thing though. Like, I don't think I could do that, mainly for the fact that my content isn't anything. Well, it's nothing special or unique. Yeah. So in the case, like, I couldn't like do other things on a secondary channel that doesn't fit on my main. Mainly for the fact that my main channel stuff is just my experiences playing through games. That's literally all my stuff is. It's not like it's I'm not doing like video essays, I'm not doing reviews or anything like that. It's literally just my experiences going through stuff, and that's all encompassing. Straight up.
You see,
so I can't do that.
Well, for me, I'm debating the format that I would want a second channel to take. I haven't put much thought into it because obviously that's just wasted energy at this point.
Yeah.
Like my business plan is to basically have that ready to go, hopefully in 2 years.
Like for my on that same kind of vein, my idea is as soon as I can, when my channel becomes to that point, hire an editor, which is going to be one every 2 weeks, whilst I work on something once every 2 weeks. So it's not as if I'm going to be handing things off. I'm going to be still doing hands-on stuff. It's just...
You can double your output.
Yeah, double output, but for not an excessive amount. So it's a case of
things are going to be going out. And if I don't hit my own deadline, at least my editor's going to have something so that there's at least going to be something once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. It gives you more time to make something.
Yeah, so it's like give like the basic, what I would refer more as like the basic kind of stuff towards the editor, which is just like gaming highlights and subtitling, all that kind of stuff, typical kind of stuff. But then I can focus on the projects that I really kind of want to focus on. For example, the big one I'm working on, which is essentially Final Fantasy 15, the fucking film of modded mayhem, which is like an hour and 20 minutes of rough cutted. I've got to break an hour and 20 minutes of footage into something. That's not something I can just pass off to an editor and be like, yeah, do something with this. No, this is something I want to do. Because this is, to me, that game, that playthrough was something special to me. So I want to focus and turn it into something special. Even though I know not many people are going to watch it. If anyone, this is for me. Like, I've commissioned a thumbnail for it.
That's the fun part about being small, is your content can just be for you.
Oh, even if I was big, I'd still be doing that. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand, like, moving into, like, trends. I understand the concept of doing things that are popular at the time to make yourself grow. I don't aspire to be, like, the biggest of anything. I just want to be at the stage where I can support myself and my family if I need to, and still make the shit that I want to do. I don't want to make my career be doing stuff I don't want to do just because it brings in money.
Yeah.
And if that means, oh, you're not going to be super rich, you're not going to be like super famous, you're not going to be like super popular, I don't care. I don't care. As long as I'm able to live a comfortable and happy life doing what I want to do, that's the dream. That's the big dream.
You see, for me, that's the dream, but my natural endpoint is kind of comical. There is a house in my hometown that goes for sale kind of frequently, but the view is amazing. And the price isn't too bad. So my natural end game is to just have that house and have it be a creator house.
That's actually the kind of big thing that I want to do. Like, there's a couple of people I know that we've been joking about it for a while, but I think it's actually a really good idea for a couple of years at least, which is to just get a couple of creators, a couple of friends and creators and whatnot, streamers or video makers, whatever, and just get a house.
Yeah.
Because it makes it easier on everyone financially, because depending on the place, as long as you don't go over the top and buy a freaking mansion kind of thing, it's going to be cheaper bills-wise, easily.
Yeah.
But it's also, you're in a space with other like-minded people, so it's going to be the right environment to, like, just thrive.
Yeah.
And I just want it. I just so want it.
See, as weird as it sounds, as much as I was like, I want to get out of that town, now that I'm like, I don't know, living kind of more civilized, I think there was something to the quiet that I didn't understand until recently.
Yeah, I mean, if you grow up in the countryside where it's quiet, you tend to kind of want to gravitate back towards it.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I mean, as dumb as it sounds, I actually think it was better for me as a kid as opposed to having like all of these options. Like doing a lot of the stuff that I do now, that used to be a special occasion when I was younger. So like now that it's just like my day to day, the things that were special to me are no longer special. Like, I can just go to McDonald's. It's like a 3-minute walk. Like,
yeah, that's the thing, though. Like, the more it's special because you don't get it, but that's just generally what happens with life. It's the concept. It's the same concept as like, oh, I couldn't buy this stuff with my own money when I was younger, but now I have access to adult money. Uh-oh. It's not so much of a special thing anymore. It just becomes a part of your life.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I actually vividly remember I was driving to school and my grocery store salary wasn't enough to always afford the gas. So I would afford just a little bit of gas until I could get to the next paycheck to finish filling up my tank. And that feeling was so awful that I am now anal retentive with my money. Don't even talk to me about the fight stick I just bought.
That's the thing. I kind of went in the opposite direction for a while. As soon as I got like my own money, because I grew up poor. Like I grew up poor.
Same.
Still, there were times where dinner would literally be just a tin of beans between 3 kids and a parent kind of thing. And the parent wouldn't even eat. That's the kind of level that we were starting at. Things have gone better, thankfully, for everyone involved over time. But it's just like, as soon as I got my own money, I was just like, I can get the things that I've always wanted. And I went fucking crazy for a few years, and it was the worst. Like, looking back on it now, I was so dumb. Absolutely stupid. I should have learned from, like, just because I can have things doesn't mean I should.
Yeah. Like, I don't, like, here's the thing. I have wants, Like, I would love to have a couple of very specific and rare anime statues, for example, because I think they look pretty. But at the same time, they're not worth the money right now. But when I actually have the money, yeah, I'm going to do it. I feel like spending can become a little bit more wasteful once you are able to understand where you live in the where you live in the memes. Good job. Well, like where your memes are.
Of course you want to live in the meme. You are the meme.
I am.
You're the embodiment.
I am, in fact, the personified crystallization of memes. But yeah, no, like that's the thing. Like, I'm genuinely just proud of the fact that I've pushed past my own financial stupidity to, have my own place, to be able to buy groceries, to make ends meet. I have enough money that I spent $60 on a fight stick, and I'm not super concerned about where that money went. Like, I have enough to feel comfortable, not enough to do something like hire an editor, but I have enough that I'm comfortable. I'm proud of the fact that I've managed to budget my way here.
Yeah. I mean, budgeting is a crucial skill, an absolutely crucial skill that I still need to practice. But still, it's something that not many people are aware of, or it was never taught in school for me. I don't know if it's taught in school at the moment.
We were taught it in economics, but I got a D.
See, that's something we were never taught. I was never taught that. And it's just like until like much later in life when people were starting to talk, how's your budget doing? It's like, my what? Oh no. This is something I should have been using all my life. Uh-oh.
It's definitely something that people need to, like, I don't know, prioritize learning, at least in my opinion. But same thing goes for nutrition and fitness. I know I say this a lot. We do live in a society.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, like, that's the thing. We live in a society. Our needs are, for the most part, taken care of.
Can't go one episode.
We can't,
go one episode
no.
of anything.
We live in it. We live in it.
Doesn't mean we need to acknowledge it every time.
But that's the thing, though, is a lot of our, day-to-day is, for the most part, taken care of, and we live in such a rat race that people can't always prioritize their physical health. So it's one of those things, like, I feel like people need to not learn what's important, but learn how to give time to what's important. Yeah,
to kind of harp on that, I think it's a case of a lot of people it's been kind of ingrained in people that a simple life isn't what people should be aiming for. Like, everyone seems like it's so ingrained. We like see a lot of like celebrities living like these really crazy lives. We see films, we see all this kind of stuff catered to like extraordinary things happening and all this kind of stuff. So everyone kind of has it in their head that they should be leading extraordinary lives as well. And that's what they should be working towards.
We kind of said it like when we talked about motivation, like not everyone needs to be absurdly like on the grind. You can live for the weekend, go to your job, come home, relax on the couch, your life. Live it how it makes you happy.
Like, that's the thing. Wanting to strive towards always leading an extraordinary life, like traveling the world or getting into these weird scraps and situations all the time, is like, yeah, I guess you could strive for that, but if you're doing that, you're gonna, unless you're always the luckiest person in the world, you're not gonna really be getting to that situation, and it's just gonna become a detriment to your mental health at that point. Like, I'm not succeeding in life because I'm not leading this extraordinary life that I've built up this expectation for myself to have. Because, like, to me, I fucking love the idea of just like a simple life. To me, I would love nothing more than to just be financially secure, live in a cottage on the suburb somewhere of a larger city with a partner, and just basically live like basically a cottagecore kind of lifestyle. Like, to me, that sounds amazing. Just something peaceful, spending time with just someone I love, doing my work. To me, that's all I want.
Yeah, for me, I just want financial security and my nice house on the mountain, and that's it. Like, get a giant mansion and turn it cottagecore. Do it. I mean, it's already cottagecore. Like, the thing is, though, is like I want a simple life, but here's the conflict. I also greatly enjoy being perceived. I like the attention. I like the fame. I like people using me as like an inspiration. Like, that's why part of my personal philosophy is bringing others up through my own efforts. I like the fact that I can go to the gym for an hour and 30 minutes daily just for cardio and burn like 1,000 calories, because I know for a fact that I'm going to talk about that and someone's going to see that and go, well, shit, I should probably do something similar. And then that friend starts working on their diet, or they start working on their workout routine. Or it's like I make some like really nice meal and one of my friends is inspired to like take up cooking. I like being so absurdly powerful that it just passively encourages other people to try and get to a higher state of being.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like that's why I pride myself on being able to push myself so absurdly hard, because like it improves everyone around me. Like okay, that sounds arrogant, but you get what I'm saying.
Well, no, I mean, speaking about things that you're proud of, it does have an element of arrogance to it anyway. It's just what it is. Like, some sense of arrogance is all right, but as long as like we being overly arrogant and prideful of something, that's where it becomes an issue if you don't have the skills to back it up. Being able, if it's okay to be prideful about some things.
Yeah. So what are you proud of?
Wow, throwing this right at me.
I just talked about it for like 10 minutes. You can give me 5 seconds.
My dude, you know when you suggested this to me, and we were like, I'm not so sure. There's nothing in my mind that I'm really proud of in my life. Because that's the thing. There were things in my life that I was somewhat proud of at the time, but as I've grown older and my worldview shifts, I've looked back and it's like, no, not really.
That's the thing, is you mentioned you were struggling about it, so I came up with a backup plan.
Well, actually, no, but there's a thing. I do have a couple of things, and they're very recent developments for myself. There is the fact that well, there's one of the things that I kind of pride myself on as a person is the fact that I can very quickly pick up new things. Yeah. So even if I'm thrown into like a new situation of something that I'm not very familiar with, I can pick it up surprisingly quick. But the limitations of that is that I can pick it up to a certain degree, but then once it gets to the point where, oh, you kind of want to learn it more and become like, start getting into like higher tiers of that skill, that's where I really struggle and start to slow down. Like, I pick things up fast, but it then becomes extremely harder for me to learn better, like learn that skill better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you reach the point where it's no longer like ease. It's going to take a lot more effort.
Yeah, in a sense. It's like I can pick things up extremely fast, but if I want to become extremely good at it, then it's going to take me much longer than what what people would take normally to do.
Yeah.
Quick pickup, slow mastery. The main thing I'm kind of proud of at the moment, which I'm still working on, is this year.
Well, thank you for continuing to work on this year, because we still got a couple of months to go, and if you stopped, I'm not sure what would happen.
Shut the fuck up. It's a work in progress, dude. I'm trying my best. It's slow. You have no idea how much goes into this. No, this year, I mean, the end of last year and the beginning of this year was the darkest times of my life. To the point where, yeah, take that as you will. But I'm now moving forward, and through that, I've basically broken through a lot of the mental barriers that I've set up throughout my entire life and backed away from and repressed and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And now I'm at the point where I'm taking control back. I say this a lot, and it's because it's my main focus at the moment, and that's because I am taking control of my life back after all these years. And one of my first steps for that was removing pretty much all the toxicity from my life. I'm removing it bit by bit to the point where I can basically have a fresh patch of grass for me to start growing on again in my life. And this is something that in the past I would have just been like, it is what it is. I'll just keep going with this. I'll make it through somehow. I'll just model my way through. Now I'm just a case of it is what it is, but I'm making it better for myself.
Yeah.
I'm basically working on myself now. Whereas otherwise I just condemn myself to being, who cares? I don't.
You know, normally I provide an episode summary at the end because that's just like something that I'm good at, but you actually just gave us a perfect synopsis of your views on all 3 topics.
I mean, that's it. It's just, I think it's a case of I'm doing it at the ripe age of 30. I'm about to become 31. My birthday has gone by the time this has come out. I am 31. It's a terrifying concept, but at the same time, I'm still technically young. in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, you've still got another 50 years at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, age is literally just a number unless it becomes towards legal things. So I'm just saying. No, yeah, I it's terrible. I have to make that stipulation. It is absolutely terrible. But like, age literally is just a number.
It's because of where we live.
Yeah,
it's because of where we live. You know, in a society and whatnot.
God fucking damn it, dude.
It's an addiction. I need a therapist.
All you can really do in life is really just like put your foot forward and take the best step that you can in the direction that you can. You also
have to stand firm because people will come to push you back and you just can't let them.
100%. There's going to be people wanting to tear you down. The people that you want to keep in your life are rare, and they are the people that will just want to know you and be with you for the sake of you being you. They'll want to gas you up. They'll want to support you, and you'll want to support them and gas them up. Finding these mutual connections are really what you want to be finding, and they are rare.
Yeah.
Absolutely rare.
My best friend and I work on the grounds that we're both trying to grab the other by the skull and shove him into the dirt, because we're both trying to come up on top, but we both gas each other up, because if we don't carry each other, then we can't, have a fun little rivalry about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Different methods work for different people. And that sounds fantastic, having a proper rivalry. Because if you don't have someone to compete with, then you can become complacent easily.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm stretching.
No. Yeah. So all you can really do is, like, regardless of how low you are, once you start to realize how low you really are, you can only really start to work forwards. Like, I know I'm not wording this correctly, but as someone that has genuinely been at the very bottom, it's better when you start going up. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be tough. It's going to be absolutely grueling, and it will tear you apart. But if you don't do that, and if you don't tear yourself apart and start taking out the things that are wrong and fixing your life for yourself, nothing's going to get better. Nothing will get better unless you take those steps.
Yeah. I worked out really hard at the gym, and I'm proud of that.
I woke up today. I'm proud of that.
No, real, like, genuinely though, real talk. I've been pushing myself harder and harder at the gym recently, and I can finally emotionally justify not being at the gym 7 days a week, because I'm actually at the point where I am burning like at least 1,000 calories, because all I do is extremely intensive cardio. At this point, I'm convinced I probably have the stamina to run a 5K and just need the musculature, because I am now unstoppable. The last time I was at the gym, I was on the bike longer than most of the other people who came in after me were working out. I take a lot of pride in that.
You see, I would absolutely love to go to the gym with you. I would absolutely love to become gym buddies with you, just so I can try and catch up with you.
See, that's like the issue with me being a gym buddy is when you start, you can't stay there forever. You get like half an hour on the bike and then you kind of spread it out. But for me, because I'm trying to lose weight, my entire existence is cardio and keeping my heart rate under control. But because I keep my heart rate under control, my energy burn is nice and slow, so I don't exactly tire. So I can just spend forever on cardio machines and be fine. It is hilarious. The last time I was at the gym, I left a puddle of sweat underneath the elliptical.
Oh.
Yeah, it was great. Like, here's the thing. Obscene feats of endurance are like my bread and butter. Like, for example, one time I went floating down a river, and there was a severe thunderstorm right behind us, and I called it, and the person I was with at the time didn't believe me. So I got into the kayak that we all tied our floats to, and just a hardcore sprint paddled us down 8 miles of river to the down point before the thunderstorm could get us. Because being in a forested river in a thunderstorm that is severe is not the best location. And no. I got us there without anyone even feeling a drop of rain. And we got in, we got our floats out of the water, and wouldn't you know it, torrential downpour, thunder, lightning, etc. But I got us there on that 8-mile journey by myself, towing at least 1,000 pounds of young adults. Like, insane feats of strength are what I live for. That is what I like.
All right, old mate. Calm down.
I mean, we probably would have been fine if the thunderstorm passed over us, but I'm not taking that gamble.
Yeah, absolutely not. But yeah, I think we kind of we've hit a kind of natural ending point for this episode, I think.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed listening to this. If you want to check out some of the past episodes, if you haven't already, they're all on the YouTube. You can check them out on Spotify, on iTunes, or Podbean. They're across all the major platforms.
If you want more from us, you can always find our channels on youtube.com, but under Lumo Blaze and Zenbear Digital. I should have a video out about completing an art test currently. What about you, Z? Anything coming up on the pipeline?
I'm currently working on a little kind of VR Spyfall video at the moment, and also I'm making a brand new type of video that I've never done before. I got offered a key for Zombieland VR Headshot Fever, and I don't know how I'm supposed to make a video about it because it doesn't fit any of my formats. So that's going to be a fun one. But no, other than that, if you want to get some extra tasty stuff from us or join us on our Discord, then consider following us on Patreon. You can check out all the different tiers for different things, for all the different perks that you can get. And you also get access to our Patreon-specific episodes, including the D&D one-shot, if you want to check that out.
It is fantastic.
But on that note, that's the end of the show, and we hope to see you next time. Have a good day.